December in the UK marks the start of winter, a time when the landscape begins to transform and the air takes on a distinct chill. As the last of the autumn leaves fall, people across Britain start to anticipate the seasonal changes that December brings. There's a sense of excitement in the air, as the countdown to Christmas begins and the promise of winter weather lingers in everyone's minds. Many hope for frosty mornings, where the grass sparkles with ice crystals and breath hangs in the air, or even for a magical dusting of snow as Christmas approaches. Children dream of snow days and building snowmen, while adults look forward to the festive atmosphere that a wintry landscape brings. The days grow noticeably shorter with the sun setting before most people have finished their afternoon tea. Nights stretch on, illuminated by the warm glow of streetlights and the occasional twinkle of holiday decorations. Cold air often sweeps in from the Arctic or continental Europe, bringing with it the classic winter scenes we imagine: frosty fields, icy roads, and the hope of waking up to a world turned white. But the UK's weather is famously unpredictable, always caught in a tug-of-war between cold air from the north and milder, wetter air from the Atlantic. One moment, the sky is clear and blue. The next, thick clouds roll in, bringing drizzle or even a sudden downpour. Sometimes we're treated to beautiful snowy landscapes that transform parks and rooftops into winter wonderlands. These rare snowy days are cherished, as they bring a sense of calm and beauty to towns and countryside alike. But just as often, the Atlantic asserts itself, sweeping in with gray, damp, and windy days. Streets become slick with rain, umbrellas turn inside out, and the air feels heavy with moisture. For many, this is the more familiar face of a British winter. The jet stream, a powerful ribbon of wind high above, plays a key role in shaping our weather. It steers low-pressure systems towards the UK, keeping things unsettled and making it difficult to predict what each day will bring. So, every December, we find ourselves checking the forecast, wondering, will it be cold and crisp or mild and wet? Will we need our thickest coats and scarves, or just a sturdy umbrella? The uncertainty is part of the season's charm, sparking endless conversations about the weather. This year, the forecast for early December 2025 is clear. The Atlantic is firmly in charge. Powerful weather systems are lining up over the ocean, ready to sweep across the country and bring their signature mix of wind and rain. Expect a very unsettled, wet, and windy start to the month for almost everyone. Streets will glisten with rain, and blustery winds will make even the shortest walk an adventure. The classic British winter battle is on, but this time, the Atlantic wins, at least for now. As we brace ourselves for the weather ahead, we're reminded that in the UK, winter is always a season of surprises. As December 2025 begins, the UK finds itself under the influence of a classic Atlantic weather pattern. The first half of the month will be shaped by a persistent spell of mild, wet, and windy conditions, all courtesy of the ever-active Atlantic Ocean. This means that for many, the start of winter will feel more like an extension of autumn, with little sign of the crisp, cold weather some might expect at this time of year. A powerful jet stream is currently racing across the Atlantic, acting like a conveyor belt, and steering a series of low-pressure systems directly towards the British Isles. These systems are set to bring frequent spells of rain, often heavy, and blustery winds that will sweep across the country from west to east. Coastal areas in particular should brace for especially gusty conditions and rough seas. With this setup, don't expect many cold, frosty mornings. Instead, temperatures will remain above average for early December, with daytime highs often feeling surprisingly mild for the season. Streets will be wet rather than icy, and you might even spot people out and about without their thickest winter coats. The persistent cloud cover will add to the wintry mood, making the already short days feel even darker and gloomier. Sunshine will be in short supply, and many will notice the lack of bright, crisp winter light. There's also a heightened risk of a named storm developing during this unsettled spell. If one does form, it could bring disruptive weather, including the potential for travel delays, power outages, and damage from strong winds and torrential rain. It's a good idea to keep an eye on weather warnings and plan ahead if you have travel plans. This is classic unsettled UK winter weather, ever-changing, but always damp and breezy. One moment you might see a brief lull, the next, another band of rain sweeps through. The air will feel fresh but rarely cold enough for snow or ice. If you're hoping for a calm, dry spell to get outside or enjoy some winter sunshine, you'll need to be patient. The relentless Atlantic influence means that settled weather is unlikely until later in the month. so outdoor plans may need to be flexible. For now, it's best to keep your umbrella and waterproofs close at hand. With the weather set to stay changeable, being prepared for sudden downpours and gusty winds will help you make the most of the season, whatever it brings. November 2025 continued the year's trend of mild weather, with average temperatures nearly 2 degrees above normal. This warmth has set the stage for a mild start to December, as the Atlantic remains energetic and full of moisture. Low pressure dominated November, bringing frequent rain and keeping things unsettled. Most of the air came from the south or southwest, so frosts and snow were rare, even in Scotland's mountains. As we move into December, the atmosphere is still in a mild, unsettled mood. There's no sign of a sudden switch to cold, wintry weather just yet. The wet, windy pattern of late autumn is rolling straight into winter. For most of us, it's a gentle, if damp, entry into the festive season. The main headline for early December 2025 is milder than average temperatures for most of the UK. Persistent Atlantic air will keep daytime temperatures a few degrees above normal, especially in England and Wales. Scotland and Ireland may see brief cooler spells, but the overall theme is mild. By the second week, the mild air spreads further, with single-figure temperatures but little biting cold. It's a damp, raw kind of mildness, not a bright or sunny one. The Atlantic's lingering warmth is the reason. Air from the west keeps us from freezing. For a true cold snap, we'd need winds from the east or north, but there's no sign of that yet. So expect a mild, if not particularly pleasant, start to winter. One big reason it feels milder is the thick cloud cover expected across the UK. This cloud acts like a blanket, trapping heat at night and preventing sharp frosts. Clear nights let heat escape, leading to freezing temperatures and frost, but cloudy, breezy nights keep things milder. As a result, icy windscreens and widespread frosts will be rare in early December. However, mild doesn't always mean comfortable. Gray skies, drizzle, and wind can feel raw and draining. The lack of sunshine, combined with short days, makes the weather feel even gloomier. So, while the thermometer reads above average, you'll still want your warm, waterproof coat. It's a damp, cloudy mildness, more dreary than delightful. For many, the only silver lining is less scraping of ice in the mornings. Rain will be the other defining feature of early December 2025. A series of Atlantic low-pressure systems will bring frequent, sometimes heavy rain to most of the UK. The first week looks especially wet, with the west and northwest, like western Scotland, Wales, and southwest England, seeing the heaviest downpours. Localized flooding is possible, especially where the ground is already saturated. The second week may ease slightly, but the overall theme remains unsettled and damp. Strong winds will make the rain feel even more unpleasant. The exact timing and intensity of rain can be hard to predict, so check daily forecasts for local details. The message is simple: keep your umbrella handy. You'll need it more often than not. The powerful jet stream means early December will be not just wet, but also very windy. Deep low-pressure systems will bring blustery conditions, and there's a real risk of a powerful storm developing. Around the 5th and 6th of December, models suggest a particularly deep low could bring gales, especially to Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Northern England. If a storm is named, expect travel disruption, power cuts, and challenging conditions outdoors. Even without a named storm, most days will be windy and unsettled. Secure loose items in your garden and take care when driving, especially on exposed routes. The combination of rain and wind will make for tough conditions, particularly for travelers and those working outside. Be prepared for a blustery start to winter. As we look ahead to the first 10 days of December, there's a rare moment of agreement among the major weather models. They're all pointing to a similar story. The Atlantic is set to dominate, bringing a spell of mild, wet, and windy conditions across much of the UK. This means we can expect frequent bouts of rain sweeping in from the west, gusty winds rattling windows, and temperatures staying above average for the time of year. It's a classic early winter pattern, with the Atlantic firmly in control. Confidence is high for this period, with forecasters feeling certain about the general trend. The signals are strong, and there's little disagreement about what's coming in the short term. But as we move closer to mid-December, the picture becomes much less clear. the models start to diverge and uncertainty creeps in, making it harder to pin down exactly what's next. Some models suggest that the unsettled, stormy pattern will simply roll on, with more rain, wind, and gray skies dominating the forecast. But others are hinting at a different scenario, one where high pressure starts to build in from the south, potentially changing the weather story entirely. If this high pressure does take hold, it could push the Atlantic weather systems away, leading to a spell of much quieter, more settled weather. In this case, we'd likely see colder nights, widespread frosts, and the return of foggy mornings. Classic signs of winter settling in, with drier days and a calmer feel overall. However, at the moment, this quieter, colder scenario is still the underdog. Most of the evidence continues to point toward a persistently unsettled pattern, with the Atlantic refusing to let go. The split between the models really highlights just how tricky long-range forecasting can be. Even with all our technology, predicting the weather weeks ahead is still a challenge. For now, the safest bet is to expect the Atlantic regime to persist, bringing more wet and windy weather to the UK as we head deeper into December. But as always, it's important to keep an eye on the latest updates, as things can change quickly at this time of year. There's still a chance that colder, drier weather could break through, especially if high pressure manages to build, but for now, that's not the main forecast. The most likely outcome remains unsettled, with more rain and wind on the way for most of us. We'll be watching the models closely for any signs of a shift, and we'll keep you updated as the story develops. In summary, early December 2025 will be mild, wet, and windy across the UK. The Atlantic is firmly in control, bringing frequent rain, blustery winds, and above-average temperatures. Widespread frosts will be rare, but so will crisp winter sunshine. The west will see the heaviest rain, but all areas will get wet spells. Strong winds will make it feel chilly, so dress warmly and keep waterproofs handy. Check forecasts before traveling, and secure anything that could blow away in your garden. While a colder, drier spell is possible later, unsettled weather is the story for now. So, wrap up, stay informed, and be ready for whatever the Atlantic brings this December.